Welcome to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress Podcast, where we hear stories from fellow seamstresses just like you who are able to share their success stories. We learn from wedding industry pros for the best business tips, and we get to hear from fellow sewists and crafters to hopefully inspire our creativity and our love for sewing. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're a bridal seamstress, I'd also like to invite you to check out our Bridal Seamstress business membership. We have a community of women that can testify to the power of genuine connection, friendship, vulnerability, the power of our six-figure seamstress method, and a genuine connection found in a business mentorship like this. All right, let's dive into the episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress. And today we're starting something new and I think really exciting. If you're on my email list, you are already familiar with the term Six-Figure Friday. For the past year and a half, I've been sending out almost every Friday a tip of the week that you can implement right away into your business to help with branding or marketing or money-making strategies or streamlining some of your systems. And they're just little business nuggets that you can incorporate into your business like the same week. So Haley and I thought it would be fun to turn these little tips into podcast form. So you can, if you're an Audible learner, you can listen to these tips to kickstart your weekend and take that little tip with you to hopefully start next week. So today, the first topic we're going to delve into is the foundation of a business, your mission. What is your brand mission? But before we dive into our brand mission, I want to extend an invitation, especially to my East Coast friends, to an event happening on June 16th in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Wendy Rivera and the Do You Speak Bride team, they're hosting a bridal summit happening Monday, June 16th at Wendy's store called Ava Loren Bride, and that's in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So she's hosting a summit for bridal stylists, and she asked if we could combine forces and also have a seamstress summit at the same time. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. So what this is going to look like is a packed day full of teaching and education. We have 6 or 7 different sessions that are going to be going on. 3 of them will be for seamstresses only. So I'm going to be focusing on these 3 topics, boundaries versus barriers. So how to have like healthy boundaries with our clients that don't feel like forced or off-putting or too cold, right? We're going to also segue into professionalism that is led by compassion. And then we're going to talk about healthy communications. And the reason I chose these 3 topics is because they always come up. They always come up within our membership when I'm working with a one-on-one client. These are the topics that consistently come up. So because these topics are so like popular among seamstresses, I thought it would be great to start each session with a piece of education, a training, and then we're going to have a little breakout session so you can chat with other seamstresses about each of these topics. Because I know whenever seamstresses get together, like we have to talk. So we'll have plenty of time for that. In addition to our own sessions that seamstresses will be having, Wendy Rivera is going to be leading some joint educational sessions with bridal stylists and bridal seamstresses for things that we all do, even though our particular niches are different. Our communication style and how we solve problems for brides can be the same in some situations. And then we're also going to have a panel set up so that seamstresses and bridal stylists can share ideas and talk about common issues and common solutions. So it's going to be an awesome day. The ticket price for that is $2.99, and there is a link in the show notes here if you would like to sign up. I know that you know that my geography is not great. We've already talked about this, but I do feel like East Coast peeps, a lot of things are like a train ride away. Okay, so for instance, I'm flying out to DC for this event, and then I'm going to take a train to Pennsylvania because my sister lives up there. So I know that trains are a thing for East Coast people, and if you can swing this and make this a 1 or a 2-day event, I would love to see you. And we are limiting attendance to 20 attendees. So please register soon so we can make sure that you're there and we can hang out on Monday, June 16th. Okay, well, let's dive into our first Six-Figure Friday tip of the week, crafting a compelling brand mission. Okay, so when you hear about brand missions and okay, you kind of think about these big companies that have brand missions because they have to have the same mission for all of their employees and blah, blah. No, you can have a brand mission as a small business. And in fact, I think that is going to it's like the first step to really streamlining everything that you do because you're creating a brand mission for yourself and you're making your branding and your marketing and your communication so much easier for yourself because you know exactly what mission you are trying to live up to. Does that make sense? So you want to think of it this way. Your brand mission is a practical way to think of the how and the what that brings purpose to your business. What is the how and the what that brings purpose to your business? So think of it this way, your brand purpose is your why. So you think about like, why did you start your business? Well, I wanted to help brides. Well, I wanted to work with fabrics. I wanted to sew. Okay, your why can be anything. That's your brand purpose. It's the big, like, overarching reason why your business exists. But your mission statement is the roadmap. Okay, the mission statement is the specific actions that you take to fulfill the why. So it essentially is like what you do every day. So you think about your overall purpose. So this can be your purpose as, the woman-owned business. You are the woman behind the woman-owned business. So what is your purpose? Who are you serving? Is it your family? Is it your personal financial goals? Do you want to have a creative lifestyle? Whatever. Okay, so that's like an overarching purpose. And your mission is the roadmap to the specific actions that you take to fulfill that why. Okay, so let's talk about some businesses who have very clear mission statements, and we're thinking big businesses here, not our little, less than 10 employees, small business mission statements. Okay, so let's start with IKEA. IKEA's brand mission statement is to create a better everyday life for many people. Now we can listen to that and think like, okay, that's kind of broad. So we're gonna circle back to this, okay? Think about a Nike. I really like Nikes to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And then in parentheses, it says, if you have a body, you're an athlete, which is really cool. So these mission statements are clear, they're concise, and they're action oriented. Oh, so they tell you exactly what the company does and who they do it for. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to craft your own compelling brand mission. Okay, so let's kind of revisit the difference between your purpose and your mission, because I think this is where it gets a little muddled and it's like, I don't know, this is why I do what I do. So your brand purpose is the why, and the mission is the what and the how. So now let's go ahead and craft a compelling brand mission for your particular brand. So we already kind of discussed the difference between your purpose and the mission, right? So the purpose is your why and the mission is the what and the how. Both are actually, I feel like, essential for your brand clarity because it's so easy for us as bridal seamstresses to be like, well, I sew and I want your dress to fit. Okay, well, what's the experience going to feel like? Like, how am I going to take a bride from feeling a little self-conscious, not super confident or beautiful in the dress as is, maybe she can't walk in it because it's too long, and I'm going to help her walk confidently down the aisle. Okay, so that might be my purpose, but then the what is actually how I'm going to take her from point A to point B. So if you really want to break this down to make a super clear mission statement, you can break down some key components to consider as you're building your own brand mission. The first thing you want to do is identify your target audience. Again, the more specific you can be with this, the better. We have literally 3 trainings in our SBS training library all about identifying your ideal client because it's such an awesome topic and it really helps narrow down your scope of branding and marketing and makes things so much easier for you in the long run instead of just saying, I serve all brides, right? This year in 2025, I have a really narrow ideal client. They have purchased dresses from very specific designers. They have very specific needs in their alterations because I'm doing that for my own well-being too. And I know that I can serve my ideal client better when I know exactly what their needs are. I'm clear of how to meet them where they're at. And in doing so, I'm actually serving myself better too. Okay, that's a little rabbit trail. That was extra. I need to keep this episode down to 12 to 15 minutes. And I don't think this is going to be at the 15-minute mark. So maybe in future mini episodes, I will get there. Okay, so let's begin crafting your own compelling brand mission. So we already discussed how there's a difference between the why, which is your purpose, and then the what and the how, which is your mission statement. And you might be thinking, this is a really long conversation to have about one sentence in my business. But let me tell you, this one sentence is going to help clarify future branding, future marketing, future decision making as you, the business owner. And it's really going to help your future clients. So right now we're hearing a lot from Gen Z. Guess what? Down the line, we're going to have to be working with Gen Alpha or Alpha. What are they called? Yeah. Generation Alpha, whatever. They're coming and they are a little judgy. So they're going to want to go through your website really quickly. They're going to want to see your social media really quickly and see exactly what you offer them and how you can solve their problems. And they don't want to waste any time. So this will help you in the long run by just putting a little bit more time into developing this super important sentence, your brand mission. Okay, so we know the difference between your purpose and your why. So crafting the mission statement in itself, you want to start with your core offering. Obviously, your core offering is alterations. You're like, duh. But what specific alterations do you love to focus on? We've talked about this so much in this podcast and within our membership that not all bridal seamstresses are created equal and they don't need to be equal. You can literally do what you want to do. So some women that I work with, they're trying to put their alterations kind of on the back burner and focus more on like custom veils, bespoke offerings, custom designs. So they're going to consider that as they craft their own mission statement. In particular, this year for 2025, I got really niched down of who I want to work with, what designers I even wanted to accept dresses from. Like, I'm like, I know the life that I want. I know the brides that I want to work with, and I want to be super specific for myself. So, like, I know when I can literally like check out of work. You know what I mean? Like, the more specific we can be in attracting a specific client and then attracting specific work for ourselves, I feel like it just makes life so much easier. And that is a completely different topic, ideal client avatars, which we can maybe have a different six-figure Friday tip of the week about that. But within our membership, we have like 3 trainings specifically about your ideal client. So it's an amazing topic and it's really life-changing. So I won't totally delve into that, but it is important to know what service you provide and who your target audience is. Be really clear in that within your mission statement because you can serve DIY brides, you can serve big budget brides, you can serve destination brides, you can focus on the work that is more like budget friendly work. You can focus on, gown reinvention or custom creations, but it doesn't just happen. You have to think through those details of how are you going to reach those people and what do those clients want and what do you actually really want? So kind of goes back to that, planning as the business owner, thinking ahead. These are the questions that we want to ask ourselves to get really specific results. And it's really exciting. I'm like lit up talking about this because I get really excited because I know what impact it has when we can be super specific. So when you craft your mission statement, you want to start with your core offering, take time to think about what service you provide and what service you actually want to provide. Like it isn't what you're currently doing, but it's like what you want to do. And then consider your target audience. So this is the bride that you would love to work with all the time. So who are you providing the service for? And who do you want to provide your services for? Like, I love that kind of person. That's who I want to see all the time. And then finally, what is the impact of your service? So we're going to kind of revisit the examples that I shared with you in just a minute here, but think about what the impact of your service is and what is the end result beyond just you get to walk down the aisle feeling confident. Okay, there has to be more to it, right? In addition to all of these 3 steps that I just shared, you want to keep it concise and clear. So you might be thinking like, oh my gosh, I have like a whole paragraph written. So now you want to hone it down, keep it concise and clear to like 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, so let's go back to the examples that I shared at the beginning of the episode. So if we go to back to IKEA and Nike. So let's talk about what their common elements were. So IKEA says to create a better everyday life for many people. It's pretty broad, right? But a better everyday life says it's not for special occasions. It's literally for like your living room or your dining room and a better everyday life. Doesn't that feel like more simple, clean, easy, predictable. That's what that says to me. Nike says to bring inspiration and innovation. So inspiration to me sounds like motivation, like we want to keep you going. Innovation feels new and fresh. And to every athlete, I like being called an athlete because I have a body. Okay. So their specific mission statements are for everyone, essentially. And that's kind of not who we are. We're not necessarily for like every single person in the whole wide world because we don't want to work with every person in the whole wide world. But these brand mission statements are definitely like open-ended, right? So they're not super specific, but they do trigger kind of some emotions in there too, right? I feel like both of them have words that trigger specific feelings. Like when I think of inspiration and innovation for Nike, it makes me feel like, ooh, I'm kind of rejuvenated. Like I want to get out there and do something. And then IKEA, a better everyday life, that's super open-ended, but it just feels clean and easy to me. A better everyday life. And it's not for special occasions. It's like for my breakfast nook. It's clean every day, you know? So you can, I just gave you like two examples, but you can like Google brand mission statements to get ideas, just to get that like inspiration going. Like what is leading these big brands and how can I take some of that mojo for my own business? Okay. So do some Googling, Google searching and find some other mission statements. Sweet Francis Sewing Co. My mission statement is literally on the homepage. So I'm going to make you go there and check that out. And it's there for all my clients to see and for you to see as well. So it's like when you come to my website, you know exactly what you're going to get. Okay. The benefits of a clear mission statement after you've done all this work and research and you've developed your own beautiful one sentence mission statement. This is going to guide your internal decision making. So when you think about, 2025, 2026, you're making decisions, you're collaborating, you're ordering new fabric for your business, or you're thinking of new offerings for clients. Is this going to fit into the mission statement that you just spent so much time and you poured your heart into and you put so much energy into developing? Are these decisions now working with that mission statement that you just developed? Okay. I feel like one of the most important benefits of your mission statement is that it communicates your brand's values to your clients. I talked about Gen Z and Gen Alpha who are going to be, checking out the biz and who they want to work with, and they're going to be comparing you. And you don't need to get so hung up on the comparison game when you're like super focused in on who you are, who you serve, what your mission is. Who cares what your competition's doing? Like, this is your thing, right? It makes it clear and easy for you, and it makes it clear and easy for your clients to be like, oh, they're not for me. I'm not into that. I'm going to find somebody else who's maybe cheaper or has just a different vibe, whatever. Make it easy for your clients to say yes, and also make it easy for your clients to say no. That's okay. You're not for everybody. Make it easy for them to say yes and make it easy for them to say no. You're going to be doing both of y'all a blessing, yourself and your clients. So we're attracting the right clientele. And then you're also building brand consistency. So just like, your mission statement's going to guide your decision making, it's going to guide your decision making in your branding and your marketing and how you speak to clients and how you interact with clients IRL and how you interact with them on social media. Like, it is going to affect your whole business and your consistency, which it builds trust. And trust is, we know it's so important, especially in an age where so many clients come to us from just like what they see on a screen. So building that trust is like, is that how they do it? The chef's kiss. Excellent. Okay. After you have some like rough sketches, go ahead and like write it out and then just refine it. Like, say it out loud to a few people, read it to some friends. Does this kind of reflect what my business is? If you think about me, does this match what you know about my business? So spend some time on it. And once you're like, ooh, I love this, slap it on someplace that people will see it. Put it on your website. Put it on your social media if you can. Like integrate it into your social media posts if you can. If you can have this on your contracts, if you can have it on your investment guide, whatever your clients read and see before they actually like meet you, the more that they can see your mission statement, the better. I don't have it like on my wall in my shop, although that's a possibility. You could have it everywhere, but if you've worked so hard on this thing and you know that it's a great representation of you and your business, share it for your clients to see and enjoy and build that trust, right? On any platforms that they're going to be using before they actually meet you. So you can also incorporate your mission statement into all of your interactions with your brides, like their fittings. So how does your mission statement lead the way that you organize your fittings or organize your fitting space or the scent that you have in your fitting studio or like the music that you have playing or, it should just guide all of the steps within your business. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, this takes time, like upstream to develop and to really like hone in on. But once you develop your mission statement, it's such a powerful step in defining your brand. And it provides focus and clarity and direction for your business and direction for your branding and your marketing. And all of a sudden you have a really clear voice for your branding and for your business that was kind of muddied before. Like you're kind of like presenting this mood or this vibe, like every other day, like who do you want to try to reach today, right? So a mission statement is going to help clarify these little everyday decisions that you have to make as a business owner. So I hope this helped you. You know what? In the Fridays to come, I'm really going to try to make these shorty episodes like literally 12 minutes. So you can just be like, boop, listen to it, wrap it up, start your weekend and get inspired for that, whatever, 6-figure moneymaker, a small change that you can add to your business. So if you have developed a mission statement, whether it's after this podcast episode or before, please share it with me because I'd love to share it with our audience too. You can message me on Instagram at Secrets of Bridal Seamstress on Instagram. You can be added to our email list so that you can receive these 6-figure Friday tips on Fridays if you like to do the reading, and that is included in the show notes below. And of course, I want to remind you too about our event happening on June 16th in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I would love to see you there. If you have any questions about that, reach out. Otherwise, you can just register with the link below. All right, I will see you next Friday and hopefully before then for a full-length episode. Bye.